Hey guys, and welcome to the Dota 2 how-to guide for playing Death Prophet. This is a quick guide to give an intro on skills along with suggest an item and skill build and provide some general gameplay tips. Death Prophet is a ranged int hero who excels in mid lane with her strong spell nuke and tower pushing abilities. She starts with 19 strength, 14 agi and 20 int and gains 2.2, 1.4 and 3 respectively, which gives her both a large health and mana pool, making her very survivable throughout the game. Her first ability is Crypt Swarm. This creates a swarm in front of Death Prophet with a radius of 110 at the start and 300 as it reaches its max distance. The spell will travel in a straight line for a cast direction of 700, meaning that with the radius of the swarm you can hit enemies up to 1100 units away. The ability has a cast range of 600 and will deal 100 to 300 damage. With a cooldown of 8 seconds and a mana cost of 105 to 165, it's a pretty mana intensive skill early game, but gives you huge creep pushing potential mid game. Her second ability is Silence, and as the name suggests, it will silence an enemy, well all enemies, in a 350 radius of where the spell is cast for a duration of 3 to 6 seconds. With a cast range of 900, this spell can be a great way to engage on a closely clustered enemy team, or to silence the heavy nuke damage out of team fights. With a cooldown of 15 seconds and a mana cost of 80, this is a hugely efficient skill for what it actually does. Her third ability is a passive, which includes a wide range of buffs to Death Prophet. This passive will grant her 5 to 20% bonus move speed, along with lowering the Swarm and Silence mana costs by 10 to 25 and their cooldowns by 1 to 4 seconds. The ability also adds extra spirits to Death Prophet's ultimate, giving her an additional 3 to 6 spirits. Her ultimate is Exorcism. This causes a flock of 4 to 21 spirits to spawn around Death Prophet, who will target hostiles in a 700 radius around Death Prophet. The spirits will however focus on the last targeted hostile of Death Prophet and will chase them up to max range of 2000 where they will despawn. The spirits will deal 43 to 48 damage every time they pass through an enemy and will heal Death Prophet for 25% of that damage. Spirits will stay up for 30 seconds and her ult has a 100 second cooldown. It also costs 200 to 400 mana and is what makes her a tower pusher, as the spirits will hit towers, allowing you to very quickly melt through buildings. Item wise, on Death Prophet, you should be looking to start out with a Tango, Salve, Clarity and 3 Ironwood branches. Moving on and grabbing yourself a bottle, magic wand and arcane boots. This is because you want the mana sustain because your abilities are fairly mana intensive. You're then going to want to follow this up by getting a bloodstone. You should disassemble the arcane boots here to get the energy booster from it to save you money for this, because you're then going to want to grab phase boots for extra auto attack damage and sort of move speed boost. And look at getting a Heart of Tarask and a Yule Scepter for even more move speed so you can basically outrun anything. Finishing out with items like Shiva's Guard, BKB, Scythe of Ice or Assault Cuirass, with the reason being that Death Prophet's really kind of a tank hero who wants to stand close to enemies, so getting as much survivability as possible is kind of key. Skills wise, look at taking Crypt Swarm at 1, 3, 7 and 8 with Silence at 5, 12, 13 and 14. Witchcraft at 2, 4, 9 and 10 and your ult when possible and stats when you have to. This is because Crypt is a great source of damage and Witchcraft just adds to your sustain so much that maxing these two first is kinda key. General gameplay wise, you will want to block enemy creep when heading out to the lane and aim for getting the last hits only. Try to avoid using Crypt Swarm through enemy creep waves as it'll push out the lane horribly and, well, kinda lose you farm. Also, look to deny as much as possible. In regards to runes, with a few levels of Witchcraft, rune control is fairly easy on Death Prophet provided your team has a ward up. This is because the increased move speed that allows you to generally get to runes faster than the other guy even if you start running at the same time. Or slightly after, really. But Prophet has no real stun or CC, so even with the runes, you're not really going to be looking to gank that much unless you get something like an invis rune. This is because it allows you to get straight into lane, but if you do go to other lanes, your primary focus on Death Prophet is pushing towers, so go to other lanes, and if you get a successful gank and someone dies or two of them die, only go there sort of post level 6 and kind of pray that your ult's off cooldown. If your ult's off cooldown when you go there and you get a kill, you can ult the tower and do a lot of damage and push. That is what Death Prophet's there for, pushing towers with her ult. Into late game, you're gonna be wanting to look at, well actually into mid game, you're gonna be wanting to look to just roam and push towers. I mean, that's all she's really designed for in mid game. She's got a lot of move speed, a decent amount of health, and she can nuke towers on her own very quickly. So just move in, pop your ult. People start teleporting, just back off. Your ult will kill them if they chase you, so you're fairly survivable just to roam solo and take down towers. Moving into late game though, you're fairly tanky and you want to have your spirits up in team fights trying to kill the enemies in order of squishiest first. So always make sure you target and attack the squishiest supports first. Maybe not the squishiest support, but let's say, you know, you've got a pretty squishy Sand King or something. Kill him before killing like the mid lane Quap or whatever, you know. Just take out the squishy guys with a lot of nuke damage. Why? Because you're going to be silencing them and you want them to die within those couple of seconds of silence that you have. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this quick guide and found some useful info here. If you have,